Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. Today I'm doing a rather large job. This is condo hallways. This carpet is at least 20 years old. It could be 30 years old. I can't remember if he told me or not. He wasn't sure. I think he said it's at least 20. I'm going to guess somewhere between 20 and maybe 25 years. It's a commercial grade olefin level loop, and it is actually really quite deteriorated in the traffic lanes, and it's really showing its age, but it's really not that bad for soiling. It has been getting cleaned on a regular basis, or pretty regular basis anyway, the last few years by Rotostatic, and apparently they threw in the towel recently. I didn't even know they were still around, actually. And of course, Rotostatic, if you know anything about them, they use the two-part system where they have one product is in a squeeze bucket. They use a bonnet, I guess they call it. Squeeze out the excess, put it on the floor, they spray it first with one thing, and then they put the bonnet in the bucket and squeeze it out and put that on the carpet, and away they go. And of course, they don't have a tank on the machine or anything like that, and they have the one is positive, one is negative. The way they mark it, like one attracts to the other, which is of course ridiculous because that doesn't apply to chemistry, but that's their marketing thing, and it was I remember that many years ago, and thought that was quite funny. But anyway, and interestingly, the manager was saying, because I told him I could come here and do this and get it done in a day, and he says, "Oh, that's pretty fast," because he says the other guy took like up to 2.5 days to do this, which is amazing. I think, okay, but that explains it if they're doing it the way that old school, really old school way of doing things, with the squeezing out the bonnet and spray the carpet, squeeze it out, whatever. That would be very time consuming. Now, I did vacuum the whole thing. It took me 2 hours to vacuum this, and these floors are, I think, I calculate about 2,700 square feet. So all the way down there and all the way down there. We'll go down there in a sec. And then there's, of course, where the elevator is. And now the only place I've been putting any pre-spray is just right in the elevator area where it's particularly soiled and whatever. And I'm actually using Procyon Extreme just for here. I spray it down a little bit. My buddy Roger's been using it as a pre-spray, and he's really been liking it. Now he's shower feeding usually Nanomax from the tank like I do. But he was experimenting with the Procyon as a pre-treat, and he really liked it. So I had a bunch gallon. I thought, oh, I'll give it a try on this job, and I've already done one floor, and it seemed to work really well. Now I just wanted to, before I get down over there, give you an idea how really big this is. It's pretty big, 2,700 square feet. So how long do you think it took me to clean it with my SETT Rotary machine, which is a 2-speed machine, 200 RPM, 300 RPM. So try and guess, how long would it take me to do this? We're still walking. About 2,700 square feet, I figured. And it's, like as I say, it's not really that badly soiled, actually. It's just dingy, little thing down there. Not really any stains to speak of. It's just tired looking, And here's the SETT machine. Soil Extraction Transfer Technology Rotary, 200, 300 RPM. That is a brand known as Centaur, made in Canada. It is the best rotary you can get, and I'm going to show you why. Oh, here comes one of the residents there. Okay, so here we go. Now this thing will run, I have a 13-inch pad driver, I have a 15-inch, I have a 16-inch, I have a 17-inch, which is actually on there now, and an 18-inch, but I decided to use my 17-inch, and I'm cleaning with the green stripe pad, I'm using the polyester with the AstroTurf scrub strips. I figured that was the better choice for this particular carpet, and as soon as I started using it, I realized, yep, I think that's the right choice for this carpet. Having options is just great, isn't it? So we're gonna go ahead and clean. Now, that's slow speed. There's high speed. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing an overlapping pass. This is how I cleaned the first floor that I did. And what I do is I'm pulling the trigger a little bit as I go to the right, because the machine will drop the solution on the right side of the pad driver and it will splatter out a little bit. So I'm going over what splatters out a little bit. If I pull it on hard enough, that is. I did pre-wet the pad that I'm using. I just basically poured some water on it, made sure it was already wet, because I'm actually finding the carpet is drying exceptionally fast. Like within 20 minutes, most of the carpet is actually dry. The only area where it's taking longer is in front of the elevator, but by the time I get this section of hallway done, if I come back to here, this will be dry to the touch. It's drying that fast. And yet you can see, I don't know if you can see, but you can see the white milky mustache happening on the carpet. It is definitely getting wet enough. The pad is definitely wet enough, but it's not too wet. Now I used one pad on the first floor, and it really didn't get an awful lot of soiling visible on it, but I switched out and I've got a new one on here. Although I probably didn't have to, but I did anyway. So the speed that I'm going at, by the way, I guess I forgot to tell you. So the first floor that I did, which is identical to this, took me 40 minutes. Okay, so get out your calculators and figure out how many square feet that would be. Almost 3,000 square feet, 40 minutes. So now this isn't I'm not trying to go fast, and this isn't about how fast you can go, because I can certainly go faster than that in the right circumstances, but because I have to slow down and kind of deal with these doorways, that would obviously slow down the actual production per square foot. But if I was in a wide open area, I'm quite confident this machine is capable of going well over 4,000 square feet an hour. One of these, actually I've got a job coming up I might be working on with Roger, and maybe we'll be able to give it a try there. We'll just go on that far. I'm not, so just wanted to make sure you understand what I'm saying here. I am not trying to go fast. My primary goal here is to be as even and consistent as possible. That is more important than speed. Speed is irrelevant. I don't care if it takes me all day, and it won't, but it's going to take me most of the day because I actually have some steps to do, as well as some LVP. The lobby area, which I brought my multi-wash for, and hopefully we'll be able to do a little video on that as well. But the goal here is obviously to give the best possible cleaning results. That's always the goal. But having a tool in your hands, such as this, amazingly cool little machine, really helps. And yes, I do have OP machines, and no, I don't want to use it because I prefer the rotary for lots of reasons. And actually, I think, well, I know I can out clean the OPs that I have with the rotary. That's simply a fact. I know that after many years and trying them all. I'm not going to bother going behind that door there. Doesn't need it. Yeah, I just much prefer the rotary. I find it much more interesting to use anyway, because with the LP, of course, I'd have to have a Vibe and have a Orbot and a couple of Orbitex. In order to clean this, I'd be walking down the hallway about 50 foot or whatever, turn around, come back, back and forth, like running an electric lawnmower, basically. Whereas this, I just start at where I plug in, and I start moving away from the plug all the time. And it's just, well, that's one reason I like it better. But I just like using it. And I like the results. And I can get better results. Especially with the 300 RPM. I started using my Hawk 300 in the last 6 months or so. I hadn't really used it much, but I decided to start using it, and I realized, oh yeah, no, I really do like this better. It's a subjective thing in a lot of ways, but if you guys are out there, you've got rotaries and you're thinking, man, if only I could have an OP machine, then I'd be a much better carpet cleaner. And that's absolutely not true. In fact, if I was going back to the beginning again, I wouldn't even bother buying an OP at all. There's just no reason. The only reason I really want the OP now is when I come across certain wood floors where the oscillating motion will work better when dealing with uneven surface of certain hardwood floors. That's the only place that I expect I'll be using my Vibe or the Orbot, which actually is set up for wood floors now for me, because I took the spray system off it. I mean, the only other thing would be if I'm doing a big commercial job like this, and if I had an employee to come with me, then the OP would be a better choice to give to them. If they're not all that comfortable operating a rotary, because using a rotary and being skillful at it does take more skill, definitely. Yeah. To be really good at using a rotary and getting the results and being even and consistent does take, yeah, it's just more skill involved, definitely. And that's one of the reasons I like it. It keeps me interested, I guess. It's more fun. Especially a machine that, can maneuver like this thing. I mean, look, and I'm not trying to do this. It's just reacting so well. This machine has quite a bit different feel than the one that I've been using. And by the way, you can see I'm getting right to the edge, of course. Pads, touching the wall and everything. Not that it really needs much there. And I did, when I vacuumed, I used my Hoover Conquest, which is just a phenomenal vacuum. And I ran right along the edges, and it just pulls stuff out of the edges, no problem at all. So it's such huge airflow. And it took me 2 hours to vacuum this place. And that's with the Hoover Conquest, which is a pretty big wide vacuum. I used the wide one. I have 2 of them actually. The standard width and wider one, which is 20 inches wide, I think. I'm not sure what it is. 18 at least. Now what I'm doing is like I say earlier, I mentioned, I pull the trigger when I'm moving the machine to the right, not to the left, because I want to go over what comes out. If it sprays out a little bit, and it will, depending on how much I pull that trigger. So if it hits the carpet, then the pad immediately goes over it. You can watch down on the right side. You can see that little spurt. Then immediately, I'm go over it immediately. So once you get the hang of it, and it's all part of learning to be skillful with the machine. learning to work with what the characteristics of each machine are. And some rotaries have the shower feed on the left side and some on the right side. Actually, the right side is going to work better than the left side, because if it's on the left side, it'll end up coming out behind the machine, which actually isn't good. So I'd reposition it to the right side, because if it's coming out at the back of the machine, then ideally you'd be working backwards to go over that what you just applied to the carpet, which I don't like that anyway. So anyway, you can reposition that easily enough. Just drill a hole. Now, one of the reasons I chose the, oh shoot, oops, didn't mean to do that. One of the reasons I chose the pad I'm using is because it is a little bit thicker and it rides so nicely, particularly on this thin carpet, because it tends to can kind of bump around a little bit. This is on concrete, and yeah, it can be a little bit bumpy feeling with a really thin pad. Again, you see, if I was using my OP, I'd have to come down here on, say the left side, turn around, go back to where I began, and then turn around, go back down again, and then turn around and come back again. So you can see how what I'm doing right now is actually probably quite a bit faster. In fact, that's one of the things I realized, is that I can definitely clean faster with the rotary than I can with my LP machines. Not that that's the priority, but that is something to, bear in mind anyway. Okay, we'll go over here and we'll let you go. So thank you for watching and have a good day.